Hey everybody, Andrew back with another video in the series on how to be happy. And so, um, what this video is going to be about, as you probably saw in the title, is that it's about recognizing what negative thoughts are, and instead of, being afraid of them, instead of saying, oh no, those are bad, you can actually use them to your benefit so that you, you learn something from every single negative thought that goes through your mind, because they don't need to be something that you're afraid of, when you're like, oh, everybody hates me. That doesn't have to be something that, makes you feel like everybody hates you. It doesn't need to be something that you're like, oh, my mind is my enemy, it's trying to degrade me. No, your mind is just doing what you asked it to do, which is give you advice on basically kind of like what you're feeling, you know, how how you actually label the situation you're in. If you think that everybody hates you, then that's probably not completely false. It's probably not your mind just trying to pull you down. It's probably your mind trying to tell you, hey, you're doing something wrong. And either you're doing something wrong, or what you're doing wrong is simply, saying that everybody hates you. And by looking deeper into the thought, you're going to be able to pick it apart and be like, all right, well, not only do I feel like everybody hates me, but I feel like it's not my fault. Like, I don't deserve to be hated. And if you feel like you don't deserve to be hated, then you're probably leaning more on the side of what you're doing wrong is creating the thought in the first place that people don't like you. And so, just by creating that thought that people don't like you, it makes you a little bit anxious when you're trying to talk to people and stuff like that. And so, there's two different ways to look at it. You can look at it as your thoughts there to kind of be your friend, or it's there to be your enemy. And the main difference is whether or not you're going to actually identify with that thought. If you're going to say, yeah, people do hate me. But the crazy thing about thoughts is that it's spoken in your language. So people hate me. That's saying the rest of the world dislikes me. And what is dislike? What could people possibly dislike about me? So you want to pick your negative thoughts apart and see kind of what makes you feel that way. And so rather than just being like, surface level, people hate me, what am I doing wrong? You can actually go into the word hate, see what that means to you, what you label as hate, and then decide why people are thinking of you that way. And so, rather than being afraid of negative thoughts and stuff like that, you need to I mean, you don't need to do anything. It's up to you, but I think it would be really beneficial if you would look at the actual words that you're saying and identify what those words mean, instead of just identifying with what it is. And yeah, so it's like it's really difficult to catch every single thought that goes through your head. And it's almost like a time lapse thing where as soon as the second part comes around, you forget about the first part. And as soon as the third part comes around, you forget about the second part. But a really good practice is to, try and increase the amount of thoughts that you can hang on to at a time. Not because you want to have your mind so full of negative thoughts, but because if you're aware of it, then it gives you the option to look into it. And so, um, you know, you really need to be able to do that if you want to be happy. Because if you are just letting those negative thoughts pull you down, then that leads to depression, and then it becomes a mental disorder, and it's not good at all. And so what you want to do instead is look at the negative thought, and you're going to be able to tell it's a negative thought by the vibe it gets you. It's just going to be like, oh, I don't like how that felt. That wasn't cool at all. And so anytime you get that feeling, that negative feeling, you should, instead of making that a key to, go into your shell, you should make that a key to look into it, to, embrace that thought and be like, all right, what is it that made me feel that way? Is it true? Is there something I can do to change it so that I can no longer feel that way anymore, So too many people are afraid of their thoughts, and that's why it's at a point where we don't even listen to our thoughts. We just kind of consider our thoughts part of us because it's so difficult to actually pick them apart. But I guess the key part of this video for you to take in is that your thoughts are spoken in your language, and your language is just a really large vocabulary of the English language, at least, is just a really large vocabulary of labels. Love, hate, good person, bad person. None of those things are actually solid, things. They're nothing but labels, because when you look into what a good person is, you're going to end up with things like, they're responsible, they are able to love, they care for people. But then when you look into those three aspects, then you're going to find out a lot of them have nothing to do with being a good person. So by looking into your thoughts, you can kind of refine the definition behind each of the words that you say in your thoughts. And it'll probably blow your mind how intelligent you really are, because those negative thoughts particularly, are so freaking accurate. They're exactly what you need to hear at every moment. And so if you're willing to confront them and listen to them and check them out and see what it is that makes you feel negative, then you're going to be able to grow a lot faster than anybody else that you probably know. And I mean, I'm just saying that because I'm only 19 years old, and the majority of the people who I have associated with have no idea that they're not even the same person as their thoughts. They think that any thought they have is what they're supposed to do, and so they start acting based on their thoughts. And I'm just sitting there like, all you had to do was, change around your outlook on, your thing. And I'm aware that it's like not easy to do, but it's not as hard as most people think it is either. So yeah, definitely as far as negative thoughts go, you need to make sure that you're not letting them drag you down. You're not actually saying, yes, I am that negative thought. You need to be like, all right, that negative thought was placed in my head by myself so that I could look into it deeper and figure out what parts of it are false, because I'm not bad. I'm not a bad person, And if everybody else thinks I'm a bad person, then I'm going to figure out how to make sure that they don't think that anymore. And the way to do that is by confronting your negative thoughts and looking into them. So that's pretty much the gist of this video. I want to add in there that in this video that I'm coming up with a schedule for how I'm going to get the content out. I'm planning to do like I'm finna do like 2 videos every day, one about happiness and one about probably disabilities on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and then on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays I'm gonna do my transmutation and meditation videos. So you can pretty much look forward to seeing your favorite your favorite series every other day, for now at least. And if you like everything that I post, then you'll have 2 videos every day to check out. So hopefully you guys can enjoy those, and I definitely enjoy making them, so I'm not finna stop anytime soon. And yeah, hopefully I can grow my channel and we can just both grow as individuals. Student and teacher are both just like a thought, student and teacher are both supposed to benefit from the scenario. Just because I tell you there's things you can improve on doesn't mean that I know everything, and it doesn't mean that, what I'm saying is even completely accurate and completely correct. So, you guys can feel free to tell me anything any of your thoughts. I would love to hear them because, I'm not trying to be some super awesome teacher. I'm just spreading what I know to be true, and that has worked miracles for me in my life, and I hope that it can do the same for you. Alrighty, guys. I'll see you next time. Peace out.